So guys, welcome back to the channel and the video. Today I titled the video, Japanese cheating culture is gross and disgusting, and by far I just hate the behavior. And disclaimer, everything that I say in this video should not be generalized. It is just my experience, just the way that I've seen it, and I feel so grossed out. And I will talk about the story and give you some context. And I'm sure you've seen videos of Takashi where he talks about cheating. And I'm sure you've seen videos of other YouTubers like Julian with the unfiltered like Japanese culture, and like some people also argue against cheating culture that it's not true. Again, each to their own. Take everything that I say with a grain of salt. You take what you want to take from this video, but I hope it's helpful to you. So for context, I was actually coming back from a trip in Asia. Basically, I traveled in Japan and Taiwan, Korea, Hong Kong. But besides the point, right? I just came back from a trip. I was trying to find a place to stay. And just to let you guys know, I am from Canada. So I came back to Canada. You can imagine how expensive it is to find rent, right? And I found this listing online that was like 300. And I was like, holy shit. I was like, there is no way that is $300. I was like, what the heck? That's so weird. So then I called up the guy. We booked the listing. I came in, paid for the deposit. And just to let you guys know, I only stayed in that place for 1 month. And I'll go into details of why. So surprisingly, right, the place that I stayed at, it had over 12 Japanese people. It was a mix between guys and girls. And you see where I'm going with this, right? So out of the 12, five of them were girls. Seven were guys. Now, I have two people that actually made me feel disgusted based on this behavior of how I verified cheating culture as a legit thing, and it just grossed me out. So the first guy I met, right? This is the quote unquote cheater player type of guy, and I didn't know he had a girlfriend at the time. So let's just call him A. I don't think of any other name because I don't want to say their real name. But let's just say his name was A, right? A was a basketball player. He was a very charismatic team leader type of guy. But there's more to his story, and I'll talk about it. But he's the first guy I met, and he's very charismatic. He's very kind. On the outside, there's this other girl that she literally stayed beside me in the dorm that we stayed in. Like, here's some photos of the place I stayed in, and you can see why it's so cheap, right? Literally the window was like just taped on the wall or on the door. But anyways, besides that, the walls were very thin as well. So this other girl, right? I won't say her name as well, but let's just call her Chi-san, right? Chi and A. This is super important. So the thing is about this story is that when I was staying there, right, I didn't expect it to be like, I was like, it's all calm and normal for the first week or two, right? And then like everyone's acting chill. I also met this other Japanese guy. Um, let's just call him K, like K-san, but that's not his real name. So we have A, we have K, we have Chi. So K is actually a very kind guy. He literally just wants to marry a Japanese woman. He told me like he told me like directly like I don't want to date any Japanese girls. I don't even want to have, quote unquote, I can't say the word with them at their house. He even told me that. He's like, I'm strictly staying with one girl and that's it. And you see, there's these one guys that all have their own agenda and their own goals. But A is a player, okay, by far a mile. I could tell, cause like think about it. If you're a team lead, aka of the basketball team, you're pretty jacked. He was pretty tall as well. He was like 5'10". So when I talked to him, I was like, "Why are you so charismatic? Why do you seem so likable?" And he was likable with all five girls. Just give you some context there. So there's this one night where I literally lost my shit because at that time, right, I was also when I came back, I was finding a job and I found a job, but it required me to wake up very early, so I had to wake up at 7. And the thing is that like there's this one night. It was on a Wednesday. I remember it so clearly because I low key have PTSD because of this cheating shit. So the thing is, A-san, he actually had a girlfriend, right? And at that moment, right, on the Wednesday, right, I just came back from work. Literally came home. I tried to sleep early, so it was like after I ate dinner, it was around 8 p.m., 9 p.m. And at 9 p.m. at this place, you have to turn everything off because if you don't turn everything off, people will kick you out of the house and they'll lock you out of the house. I know it sounds crazy. Sounds like a little, maybe I'm exaggerating a little bit, but that's exactly what they'll do. And with that in mind, right? It was around 9:10 p.m. I was inside my room, and mind you, right, as I mentioned earlier, right, the rooms are very, very small, so they're very condensed. I would say it's like very similar to what I'm in right now. Literally, it was so small. So that's why it was so cheap, right? But then I was staying there. I tried sleeping. I slept at like, I think I slept at 12 a.m. And then I hear this like very loud noise. I was like, what the heck is this? I was like, there's this rustling noise, right? Of people walking across. And then I can hear someone showering. I was like, people showering at 12 a.m. I was like, and there was like two people. It was a guy and a girl, aka Asan and Chi-san. And I vividly remember him literally calling her name out, literally across the hall. I was like, this is so weird. And if you guys know Japanese culture, before they do the deed, they always shower. So I was like, huh. And then like I hear her go in her room, right? And she's very loud all the time. She was very annoying, to be honest. She was like, you remember how guys I talked about the very annoying girl in my other video? Very similar, but like she's like, I don't know. Actually, I don't even know anymore. She's like the party till I'm drunk girl, but she's like a mixture of the annoying girl. Cause she's broke. She's not rich. But besides the point, right? So I was in my bedroom laying there, right? I was trying to fall asleep at 12 a.m. I hear her go to her room, and I hear him literally open the door and go inside. And you already know what's gonna happen. So they cuddle inside. I literally lay there. I'm just like, what is happening right now? And mind you, the walls are very thin. So think about that. I hear all this rustling noise. First, it started rustling, like you can hear like the bed like rustling, and like when you pull up the blankets and shit, like you can hear it, right? So I heard that. I was like, oh god, this is gonna be a hard night. Not pun not intended, please, pun not intended. Okay, but yeah, like first time ever seeing this, it was like 2 weeks in, right? On that Wednesday night, at 12 a.m. And then it was like from 12 to 1, I could still hear it. And then around 2 to 3, oh my god, this is when she was getting so loud. And I was like, this is crazy. Cause mind you, I will tell you, the week after, right? I actually met that girl's boyfriend. I was like, you guys were dudes. And then the guy that Asan, aka Asan, and Chisan's boyfriend. I met Chisan's boyfriend, but also I met Asan's. I didn't meet his girl, but I know he has a girl because they were always talking on FaceTime. So I was like, what the hell? She was so like I hate to say it, but she was so loud around 2, 3, and then until 5 a.m. And I was like, I'm not gonna sleep. I literally did not sleep that night. And the thing about this is that it didn't only happen once, guys. It happened consecutively. Like for the next 5 to 10 nights, I was going through this. And again, the walls, guys. The walls, they were so thin. So you can imagine how I felt about that and why I have like low-key PTSD and why I'm able to describe this thing to you so like vividly because I would like you see these earphones. I literally had these in all night trying to sleep, but I could not sleep, and it was so loud. I was so surprised that the people across me did not even hear me. I was like, "Oh my god!" And then I came to a revelation that cheating culture is a legit thing in Japan, and it grossed me out. And for context, right? Another thing, most of these people, I think I said it earlier, they're from Tokyo. They're from Shinjuku. They're from Shibuya. So relating back to Takashi's video and to maybe Julian unfiltered stuff, right? They're interviewing people mainly from Shibuya and in that area where the people that are obviously drunk and obviously out of their mind, right? And don't have any like real awareness of who they are and what they want or any honor, right? To an extent of self-respect. That's where this thing is happening, and just based on this story, right, that I just told you about, you can see how I feel about this type of behavior now. Why I think it's actually valid to say that it's gross, because it is. I mean, literally, Chisan and Asan, they both had their own individual partners, and I met one of them. He was a very nice guy, but I don't even know if I could trust him either, because at the end of the day, they all do like it's just part of the culture at this point. And I was like, this is gross. This is gross. And that's one thing in terms of Japanese culture that I just don't. I will never understand. I will never. I'll never like fully like integrate into the idea. I had another guy that I told you about, right? He's very loyal to this one girl, and I've met very good Japanese people like that. Like I met him, but I met also other people in that area. Like as I mentioned, maybe my ex girlfriend. She was a very wholesome person as well, and she was from Japan. So concluding this type of video, right? Cheating is a real thing, but I feel like cheating is very exclusive in not only in Japan but it's across the world. But in terms of Japan in general, right? I think it's very secular to the Tokyo region. In terms of Shinjuku, Shibuya, like that area, I think it's only in that area. But I might be wrong. Okay, I haven't seen it from a different point of view, but you can see why I was very like PTSD. I like low key PTSD from it. I mean, literally, imagine that, guys, listening to that every night and not sleeping, knowing you have to go to work in the morning. It really sucked. So that's my story, guys. I will never in my life, ever, I hope to never, stay in a shared house with a bunch of Japanese people, and I don't want to run into that type of problem again. That was one of the worst experiences and one of the grossest experiences I've ever seen in terms of behavior. That's about it. If you like this video, like this video. If you subscribe, please do click that button. And then comment below on what your thoughts are on cheating culture.